Hey, Dave, Dennis Feidner with CFO on the go. Hey, so one of the things you'll see is a difference from the version you know and the version you're looking at is this is all icon driven now. So typically it looks like that. I still use the menu only because I've been doing it this way for like 13 years, and so I still like this menu. But all these desktops can be created for each individual. So when you sign on, you'll have your own desktop. When somebody else signs on, they'll have their own, and then each certain area. So there's a payroll screen, what a payroll screen would look like. But here's most of the stuff that you had on your checklist is almost all on this one screen. So RFIs, submittals, transmittals, change orders, which we're going to look at in a little bit. A couple other reports we're going to look at as well. So um, there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm probably going to follow this fairly much in the order that the spreadsheet went in, but um, change orders in Sage 100 work something like this. And you'll find that I like to use things that's already typed because typing is definitely not one of my strong suits. So when you set up a change order, you only need a couple pieces of information to get this thing started off. You need the job, kind of a description. You can assign the change order number, or you can have the system sign the next change order in order for this project. It will default to the date that you start it. And then it'll always start it out as open, and as it works through the process, like it comes back signed, you just move it to approved. It could go to disputed or reviewed status or rejected. So, but there's a couple different statuses, and there's excuse me, two tabs here, and I'm going to flip back and forth so you can see. But the first thing you're going to do, and I assume, and again, assumption's a bad thing, but most home builders, especially in California, are subbing out usually 90 to 95% of the work. Some custom guys obviously will do some of their own finished carpentry sometimes, or concrete work, maybe sometimes framing, but we just make an assumption that you're subbing out most of it. So in this case, the owner changed out the light fixture for some reason or another, and so we just called the sub, asked them, and said, "Hey, what's that going to cost me, the contractor, in additional contract?" And the guy said, $1,850 is your cost. He already had a subcontract, Samson did, and so we're going to assign that to his subcontract 21. And in this case, it's going to be change order number 2 for him, even though it might be 45 for us. It's just number 2 for that subcontractor. And then on this tab is where we go back to the owner. And originally we had requested 2,400. They came back and approved 2,300. And so we said, okay. A couple things here is this is what it would look like going to them. Lighting $2,300. If you had notes like the scope of the lamp or the model number or the color or whatever, that could be put down here in the notes. The nice part is it follows the AIA format, working you from original contract, previous change orders, current change order to the new contract value. And this all can be modified to suit you. The other thing that's important in here, and I gotta go scratch my brain here, this is probably something that you did not have before. You probably had this notes pad, but now we have this paper clip. And at this point, I can drag and drop or find in a list any document that's associated to this change order. So it could be a set of plans, it could be a PDF from somebody else, it could be it could be a picture that we took, it could be a Word document, an Excel document, an Outlook email. I don't care. You can drag and drop those documents in here, and now anybody that opens up this change order will have access to those documents because they're now attached to this individual change order. So that is change orders. All subcontract management is also done in here. I'm going to show you a couple of those in a second, some of those reports. Look at RFI, but submittals and transmittals are going to be very similar. They all look the same. I need a job number, what RFI it is for this job, what's the description, where's the information I needed, and there's the response. And so copy and paste, drag and drop the email in here. It's up to you. And so in this case, it needed a plan change and a change order and a schedule change over here on the right. When I do that, this is a sample here. I'll just pull up a sample. So there it is. Who it's to, what it's for, what job, the description, information supplied. So you have that. In addition, in the same place, I can then run an RFI list by job, RFI list by vendor, or by client, and then within that filter by a bunch of other categories. So you can usually find what you're looking for in one of those lists. So transmittals and submittals work very similar. I'm not going to save this. And so next thing down on your list, this is a truly network operation here. I am sitting in Southern California, assuming you are too. I do not have this software on my computer in my office. I do not have this on my server because I don't have a server. The software is in a server in Scottsdale, Arizona. Obviously, we pay a fee for that per month, but I can access that same exact information that I'm looking at right now from any device, anywhere. So if I'm at home and I want to do it on my iPad, or if I'm on vacation, like next week I'm going out of town for business, I can take my iPad and I can access and work with the same software exactly like I am on my desktop on my iPad. So you will have access 24/7 as long as you have an internet connection. So we do have it. It's like I said, it's an additional fee. I sent you information on that in a previous email, so you have that. As you can see, this thing reports fast. So if I'm just going to go into subcontract audit here, this is a report that our general contractors love. This happens to be the subcontract audit. It's for one job 27, for one subcontractor. And this is that kind of analysis of what's going on with an individual sub. So when you get that phone call that said, hey, why haven't I been paid, or where's my money, or what's going on? I know what his contract was valued at the original contract. I know what change orders have been approved and added to his contract. So there's his new subcontract. If he had change orders that we sent him that he has not signed and sent back, we would know what's pending. On the next page, what does he invoice me for? What the kind of summary of the contract is, and have I paid him, or is it still sitting in my accounts payable balance? So as you get those phone calls from subs, whether you're the owner or project manager, you're going to be able to kind of answer those questions without having to bug anybody in accounting, because everything's going to be there for you. Get out of this real quick. Let's go to accounts payable. One of the things our clients absolutely love is if I go to a vendor, and I'm just going to go to one of my busy vendors here. It happens to be Home Depot. This is the vendor setup screen, but who it is, financial information about them, invoice totals, invoice defaults rather, what have you. But if you look at the very, very bottom, if I pull up a vendor, and it could be a subcontractor, don't care, I can see every subcontract written for this guy. I can see every purchase order written, every PO that we've written and has been closed, every open invoice that I owe them for. Well, by the way, I owe him a lot of money. Everything that's been paid. That's why there. There's all the payments. And then if he has insurance certificates, they'd all be listed here with an expiration date. And if we want a warning or in a hard stop on writing checks, which this is, somebody had to really give me a strong argument not for that to be yes. We do not want to write checks if they don't have a valid insurance certificate. So all that's tracked through the vendor, and it works really well. The other thing that would be new for you with the new version is, if I can go into utilities, we have an alerts manager, and there's all kinds of alerts in here, but one of the alerts that we have set up is that we'll send out an email. This is set up daily. I should probably change this. Actually, I probably will. And next, this should probably go out once a month, something like that. And let's just do that. Send it out weekly on Monday mornings and finish. And so now, on every Monday morning, I'm going to get an email that says that these are the vendors that have insurance expiring within the next 30 days. And so I don't have to go run a report, don't have to look for it. It's automatically going to be emailed for me. Anytime somebody writes a PO over a specific threshold, you're going to get an email. Anytime you hire somebody, you're going to get an email. Anytime a vendor gets set up without a 1099, you're going to get email. So these are ones that we've customized for people. It also comes with some pre-written ones. This is right here is a lifesaver for a lot of our clients. So anytime job cost exceeds a budget on any job for a specific cost code, so you had painting on your house and you had a $20,000 budget, the first day that total hits $20,001 in actual expenses, project manager or you or whoever you choose will get an email saying this job, this cost code is now over budget on this job, and it'll show you in an email what job it is and what cost code. So a lot of that stuff is automated, so you don't have to go worrying about running reports and what have you. The other thing you had on your list, which is always important, and that's how do you bill and get your money, is in Sage 100, we have the ability to do progress bills, which is the 702, 703. If you're working with banks, we can actually do the actual loan draw request. And then a full-blown T&M, time and materials billing module, is included as well. Each project can have its own markup rates. You can choose to show them or hide them. You can have different labor rates for your superintendents and project managers. All that is customizable by project. And then it'll print out that invoice for you with all of the detail. And so that's also part of the core system. So, one thing that you're never going to lack for in Sage 100, I almost said Master Builder, it's almost slipped there, is we never give you one of anything. So this is a receivable aging that's coming up. There's going to be a whole bunch of them here. So there's like 10 different versions of that. Most of our clients don't use that. They use what we call a receivable call sheet. And the call sheet is going to be an item, something where you can pick up the phone and start making phone calls. I'm just going to pull this one up real quick here. This is, if I was an AR person and I was going to call Jessica because she owes me a lot of money, there's Jessica. Here's a phone contact. Here's a second phone contact. Here's the notes I have from previous conversations. Here's the invoices for this job. Here's the invoices for this job, and this job. By the way, these are getting kind of old. This is the aging in days and the amount that's past due. So most people use the call sheet, but as you can see, we never give you one of anything. So you have lots of ways to run this, and then a lot of filters over here, so I can run it by client or just run it for a specific job. Up to you. Something that's probably new since the last version is I can export any report that I want to Excel. On occasion, not often, you could export it to Word and do something with it. PDF, and I think that was always there. And then the other thing that was added maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago was the ability, if I want to send this aging to a project manager, I just hit the Outlook button. It creates this report as a PDF, and then I would just pick the project manager or whatever, or the client from my contact list and go ahead and send them that email. So used to have to kind of PDF it and attach it. We now actually open it up with that PDF automatically attached within Outlook for you. So those are most of the things that you had attached. The last couple things here is my favorite report, especially for home builders. One of the two that I like, excuse me, is this one here. And that's the cost to complete. And so as the job's progressing, it's going to go in and keep up to detail all of my open invoices open. Hang on. It's coming. Committed cost is all my open subcontracts and all my open purchase orders. So there's my budget. There's my cost to date. There's all the subcontracts that are written but have not been invoiced to me yet. And here's all the purchase orders that are written to buy something, but I haven't received an invoice for. So it keeps these committed costs in front of me at all times. And then with a summary at the bottom. This is kind of a sample job looking really bad because I'm about $192,000 over budget. And I think you had this in the last version. If I want to see how I spent that money, it's a double click. There's the actual client or vendor that I bought it from, the date that I bought it. If I want, with a couple more mouse clicks, I can actually go right back to the, excuse me, scratchy throat today. I can go right back to the actual accounts payable invoice to see what was entered there. So I can get right back to the detail at any point in time by just drilling back on any report. So that pretty much covers everything that you have. You're pretty much a slam dunk. I hate to use that expression, but you are. Custom home builders, building anything under 30 to 50 homes a year. Not a problem. We go spec builders. We'll go up to a couple hundred, 300 houses a year. The custom managing change orders and all the paperwork, schedules, all of that is part of our core solution. So hopefully that helps. If there's something else you want to get online and ask some questions, get a little more detail on the software, then that's pretty simple. Let's just set up that demo. We can jump online and get that done for you. If you need a proposal, shoot me an email. Let me know how many people would be on the system at the same time. One thing that did not have checked any boxes is on estimating. I'd be really curious or nosy, I'm not sure what the difference is, on how you're doing that today, because I think our estimating may be of help. But if you've already got that wired, I'm not going to have to change it. But I would like to know how you're doing that. So please give me a call when you get a second. My name's Dennis, 800-659-5851. So 800-659-5851. You've got my email address, so whenever you're ready, just give me a call or shoot me an email. Thanks. Appreciate your time.